Welcome back to the American Adversaries. Prime time, drive time show. Coming to you dead on FM 105.5 and AM 660, The Answer. Dead man walking.
The Undertaker theme, I just love that. I got a guitar at home, and every now and then I'll pick it up and pick that with my...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. All right, 407-774-8255 is the number. Thanks for being with us tonight, this eve before All Hallows Eve.
Yes, the fun night for children.
Indeed. All right, so we've been talking about the debate and debate moderators. Oh, I see Al dropped off the line. Al, if you can get back through to us, give us a call. He may have had to run back to work. Anyway, the RNC and several of the campaigns, including Trump, Carson, Jindal, and Graham, have teamed up to say we're going to do something different going forward here. Now, the next debate, as I said, okay, Al's back. Let's not keep him waiting any longer. Al, thank you for calling. Appreciate you getting back with us.
Yes, sir. I kind of liked it that we have Democrats interviewing or being moderators at these debates because it gives us a different perspective on how these candidates react to the questions and so forth. I mean, if you're independent, I think that's what you'd want.
Well, you got a point that you would want to have people with different perspectives doing some questioning. I think Cruz's point is that there's a place for that in the general election, not in the primary. But it does complicate it a little bit, and I think Al's question does have some validity in the sense that, and you mentioned this earlier, that there are some states that are open primaries.
Some.
But nonetheless, Al, it is a question of who is going to be the Republican nominee. So it should be a decision primarily made by people of like mind, if you will. And then at the end of the day, in the general election, they're going to have to worry about selling themselves to the Democrats and independents,
and
or vice versa.
The only advantage I see to having Democratic moderators at this point in time is to solidify the Republican base to say, geez, this is why we want to vote Republican.
Yeah, but the problem is, and Al, the problem is that these are gotcha type questions which are leading to, or presumed to be leading to, if you will, fodder for the general election. In other words, they're probing for weak points. Do you understand what I'm saying here, Al?
But that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. I think the more exposure the average voter has, the better.
But what does it accomplish? What does it accomplish as far as informing the public on what they're going to be voting on?
Yeah, see, the problem we have is that the tack that these moderators have taken, and this is one solution. This was Cruz's solution. I think it's a pretty good one, but to be honest with you, Al, I think there's validity in what you're saying, because what Al is expressing is here, the adversarial form of government is what we got. And that's what makes it work, being adversaries.
But as Republicans, we're in the adversarial environment 365 days a year. Can't we have at least 1, 2, or 3 or 4 debates where we actually have a favorable environment?
Al?
But you have Fox News for that. I mean,
please give me a break.
That turned into an adversarial.
Please give me a break.
Well, yeah, but it was adversarial in the same way that it was adversarial the other night. It was not adversarial in the sense that they were arguing over meaty issues. Like, Al, I bet you, and I'm presuming you watched the debate, but even if you didn't, I doubt that you could tell, if you saw the debate, you couldn't tell me how, for instance, Mike Huckabee's opinion on abortion differs from Ben Carson's, or if they're the same. You couldn't tell me how, who was it, Rand Paul, what his opinions on the legalization of drugs, how that differs from all the rest of them. This is what we're longing for.
Yep.
We want to know what each candidate thinks about a particular issue so that we can say, okay, we agree with him, we don't agree with him, and on down the line. And that's not been what's happening.
Yeah, and the interviewer bias that comes through on those questions, and it really shows that the moderators have a loathing for the candidates. And that's what comes through. If they were able to be impartial and ask intelligent questions, then it would be a different story. But up to this point in time, that has not been the case. So you want to get somebody in there that's going to ask, good questions without any type of interviewer bias to try to get to the meat of the issues, to find out where these candidates stand on whatever issues are relevant, not fantasy football.
Yeah.
I know, but here's the thing. Just one last thing here.
Yep.
If we're to try to differentiate between the candidates, we can go to their, website or whatever. I think the TV debates are specifically made so that way we can see them squirm at the hard questions,
But they haven't asked any hard questions.
Handle different situations.
There haven't been any hard questions for these people that candidates act. They've all been insulting questions. They've been unintelligent questions. There hasn't been one that has had any depth to it to where you could judge a candidate properly on.
Well,
and I would also like to say, well, if it's okay for the Republican candidates to have Democratic moderators, well, then let's get some Republican moderators to do the next Democratic debate.
How about that, Al?
Let's do it.
All right, man. You with us? I agree with mostly. I agree with you, Al. Mostly, I really do, because the process is about seeing them squirm. We'd like to see them squirm over the issues more, but there is a place for these gotcha questions, but not only gotcha questions.
Mr. Trump, when did you stop beating your wife?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just not good. There's no good answer to that question.
Oh yeah, there is. Which one?
Yeah. Okay.
Al, God bless you. You have a great weekend. Thanks. I appreciate it. And I like Al. He's thinking. He's got that noodle working.
Yeah, but again, he's coming at us with that liberal bias that it's all okay.
But in this case, he does. There is some validity to his argument. You can't deny it.
There's absolutely no validity to his argument because they're not asking intelligent questions. And I'm sorry, Al, but you're wrong on this one.
All right. Let's go to Tim. See what he thinks. Tim, thanks for being out there.
Well, Doctor, you took my line. There are no Republicans that'll be on the Democratic debate. In fact, the Democratic debate, most of them are going to be held now on Saturday nights when nobody else will watch.
Yeah.
Okay? They want as little as possible. And no Democratic debate will be on Fox News.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
So it is totally one-sided to destroy Republicans in any debate that they have, and even with some of these half-liberal Fox people. So it doesn't make any sense. They got enough money amongst them; they could put on their own debate. They don't need NBC, CBS, anybody.
Yeah.
And they don't need Fox. They don't need anybody.
Well, you're right about that. But I think also you make an excellent point in the sense that what's fair for one side should be fair for the other. In other words, if we're going to subject our candidates to these inquisitions by a bunch of liberal hacks, they should expose their candidates to an inquisition by a bunch of conservative hacks like me.
So I am just so excited that they came together.
Right.
They're going to fight this thing. They're going to change history on the way debates are done.
Yeah.
And when you get into these primary debates, there are some questions that don't need to be answered yet. If you want to know everybody's single tax plan, what if the one guy's got a great tax plan, but he doesn't want to tell people about it until he's in the regular election, in the runoff?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that would be his argument to make. But the part of the point that what Alice was making, and this is where I see some validity in it, is that you want to see how these guys react under pressure. And
granted.
So you want to apply the things that will make them feel the pressure up on that stage.
Okay, so if I were a moderator on the Democratic debate, and I said to Hillary, if I said, well, now that you have admitted that it wasn't the video that sparked the uprising in Benghazi, that it actually was an Al-Qaeda-like terrorist attack, if you get elected president, will you pardon the guy who made the video that is still in jail?
Yeah. But you see, that
would be fair, wouldn't it?
I would think so.
That would make her squirm a little bit.
It would indeed.
Yeah, but they never let me ask that question.
And from Al's perspective, That's why he's looking at these Republican candidates. He wants to see them squirm.
But
and we want to see
cried foul.
And what we want to see their candidates squirm too. And we get mad when they aren't made to squirm. You see,
they're not getting asked the same questions. They're not getting the same treatment.
Right.
They're getting softball served to them.
And that was part of the complaint the other night from the debate stage
according
too.
to the Democrats, that's okay because they're the nice people.
Well, see, the way they see it is the Republicans are the bad guys, so they're the ones that have to be scrutinized more toughly. And
Hillary came out the very next day after that hearing and said it was the video. Okay, so it doesn't matter to them. They just lie, and their people believe them.
Oh yeah, She kind of prevaricated the day of at the hearing. She said, "Oh no, it was what's called the fog of war and all that business. We really didn't know what was happening, and the CIA's talking points and da 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 da."
And I thought the guy that did the video was in jail for a tax evasion.
I forget. No, I think it was a probation violation or something, which may have been that originally. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it was.
Still, is she going to pardon him anyway for using him as a scapegoat?
Well, and the point is, the reason why he was put in jail, I believe, is because of video.
Yeah.
And don't we have free speech in this country, right?
Apparently not.
And by the way, I saw the video. And it was about 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's crudely done, but there is nothing that is inaccurate in it. I'm here to